Well, it's been a while, but now we're finally back. How's it going, everybody? It's C-RadTV back with NASCAR race. Oh, god damn it, Stenhouse. Can I finish my introduction before you start your wrecking bullshit again? God damn it. And Stenhouse, you really gotta be shitting me. You had to wreck on lap fucking 1? Are you kidding me, Stenhouse? God, Stenhouse, you are so fucking trash. I've seen fucking blind people drive better than you. I've seen paraplegics drive better than you. You know what, Stenhouse? I'd rather have Stevie Wonder judge my body weight and give me a diet and nutrition plan and evaluate my lifestyle than have you as my driver. I'd rather have to sit and be locked in a room with Taylor Swift and listen to her garbage music than have you as my driver. Get off the fucking track, you goddamn bum. God damn it. Oh my god. Not NASCAR without Ricky Stenhouse spinning. You know what? No. We're not doing it this way. Not this way. Not like that. No. We're gonna restart. Let's restart this shit. Alright, C-Rad. Free focus. Alright? Well, with that little outburst out of the way, let's restart the intro video. So, alright, folks. How's it going, everybody? It's now time for some real NASCAR racing. After 2 months of being off because of a coronavirus pandemic, NASCAR has finally said, fuck it, we're coming back. After 2 months of waiting, actually 71 days to be exact, NASCAR is back with racing at the famous Darlington Raceway, the track too tough to tame. Of course, this race will be a different one, since there are no fans in attendance for this race. For at least the first month or so they're back, at least not until July at least. So yeah, bit of a weird study, a bit of an adjustment, but yeah, there's actually a lot to talk about since this is real racing. And we're going to put a lot more effort in these reviews now than we did for the iRacing reviews. So yeah, let's get started with it. So, stage 1, a lot happened. It was actually some pretty exciting racing because it was a green racetrack. You know, a lot of the cars and teams, they had no practice time, no qualifying. The qualifying was a random draw, so it was just really, they just throw them on the track and let's see what happens. You know, it actually had some very competitive racing. There were a bit of comers and goers too. A lot of cars fell to the back, a lot came to the front throughout the race. There was actually a lot of passing for the lead on the first stage. And then there's one thing I want to address real quick, was the end of stage 1. When Jimmie Johnson crashed on the last lap while leading the race. All because of a goddamn lab car. Like, seriously. How many more times do we need to see the leader get crashed out before NASCAR needs to implement a penalty for lab cars that don't let the leader by? Like, seriously, NASCAR needs to implement the F1 blue flag rule to where if you get the blue flag, you have to slow down and let the leader by. And if you ignore the flag or don't let the leader by, then you get black flagged for it. I'm serious. Because how many times have we seen a lab car cost a driver? Like, there was, Michigan 2012. We had Labonte and Montoya wreck each other up front, ahead of Mark Martin, when Mark was about to lap both of them, which caused Mark to spin on the pit road, and then hit Mark's rear axle, hit the pit wall, ripping it out, costing Mark a good run. He was the leading that race, had a very good car that race. And by the way, that Michigan race, I was there for it. And then there was also New Hampshire 2014 when Joey Logano, while leading the race, got wrecked by Morgan Shepherd, a slow car. There was also Martinsville 2015, when Kenson was 9 laps down, and then he retaliated on Logano, who was leading the race at the time. That one, yeah. And then there was also, of course, last year, the Bristol night race, when Ryan Newman put Matt DiBenedetto in the wall, and cost DiBenedetto the win at Bristol. Like, how many more times do we need to see the leader get fucking wrecked or put in the wall before NASCAR needs to fucking put a blue flag rule in and penalize lap cars that don't let the leaders by? Like, I'll say it here. That was partly Jimmy's fault, and that was also Chris Buescher's fault. Jimmy's fault because Jimmy should have let off the gas and played it more smart on that last lap. It's also Buescher's fault because Buescher didn't get the hell out of the way and block Jimmy, which forced Jimmy onto the apron, which got Jimmy loose and got Jimmy into Chris, and then Jimmy ended up in the wall. Like, that could have easily been avoided, for sure. So yeah, my advice is very simple here. Lab cars. In fact, for my advice, I'm going to reiterate what I said in the Bristol night race last year. Lab cars. If the leader is coming up to you, and you know damn well the leader is faster than you, then get the fuck out of the way. Do not hold them up. Let them by. Simple as that. Fuck. But anyway, moving on. You know, there are a lot of self crashes there. Like Byron, had a loose wheel that caused him to crash. Chris Bell got himself loose too. Yeah, Newman also had a spin too. Newman's first race back, he really didn't do much. He was pretty irrelevant all race. Same deal with Kenseth. Like, mainly throughout this race, it was looking like a battle mainly between Harvick, Keselowski, and Alex Bowman. Like, Chase Elliott ran pretty meh all race. Like, Martin Truex Jr. also, he also fell back early in the race, but then came all the way to the front to contend at the end, only to fall back a bit again. So yeah, Truex went from being a goer to a comer to back to being a goer near the end. Same deal with Keselowski. You know, Kurt Busch also competed for the win most of the race too. Like, first half was actually pretty solid racing. There was a lot of good racing there. But the second half really was when this race really went down the shitter. Mainly because, you know, we started the race off with a green racetrack and the cars having no practice time. And a lot of teams having poor setups. And then the second half of the race, you know, there was some rubber buildup on the track. And a lot of teams were able to get their heads around how to race this track and how to do shit here. And yeah, that's when we really got back to... So really, the second half of the race is officially NASCAR's dick punch back to the reality. Yeah, we had some pretty solid racing before the pandemic. And some solid racing to start this race. But the second half is when NASCAR said it's time to get dick punched back to reality. Again. Honestly, I knew the dick punch was coming. It was just a matter of when. Well, that's the lesson here. Don't get your hopes up too much. Every time you get your hopes up, they'll always come back to dick punch you in reality. So yeah, overall, yeah, really the second half of the race, really not a whole lot of green flag passes for the lead the second half. Only time that's in the second half the lead really changed was on pit road. Mainly because of Kevin Harvick's #1 pit selection. When Harvick can just gain 4 or 5 spots off pit road by default. But, yeah. After on the restarts, it was competitive for maybe 10 laps. And then it starts to space out here. Let's not get it twisted. This package still fucking sucks. And oh, by the way, we're still stuck with this package until 2022, since the Gen 7 got pushed back a year. So we're still stuck with this for another year. God help us all. But yeah, we had a very anticlimactic finish. Not much happened at the end. Kevin Harvick dominated and closed the race. So yeah, there's a line I've been waiting to say for a long time that I haven't said yet. But yeah. So yeah, this race was another race dominated and won by, what do you know, fucking Harvick. Man. But hey, congrats to Kevin Harvick, though, on getting his 50th career win. You know, 50 wins in NASCAR's top series is no easy feat. So yeah, anyway, congrats, though, to Harvick, though. You know, he ran a really good race. I was like, okay, what's the catch? How's Harvick going to throw this race away? But Harvick closed it out. And of course, with Harvick's win, that means Harvick is officially chase-bound. I'll be honest here. You actually didn't take half a year to get locked in. You're actually able to get locked in pretty early. Not bad. Now the question is, Harvick, how many races are you going to dominate and win this year? Harvick can probably win another championship. He's got to learn to stop throwing fucking races away, for fuck's sakes. But yeah. Yeah, remember what I said at the start of the year about how Last year when I said Ford could win the Manufacturers Championship, now that all the teams figured out the new Mustang. Well, guess what? So far, Ford has won 3 of the first 5 races, so in terms of that, they're off to a good start. And yeah, I did have Ford win the Manufacturers Championship this year. I felt like, you know what, they had a year to figure the car out, now they got it. Now they can fight. So yeah, Alex Bowman had a really good run at second. But folks, before we continue on, actually, before we get to the next main point, real quick though, Alex Bowman, even though you finished second, have a 1-year extension at Hendrick Motorsports to ease that pain. As Alex Bowman is officially off the driver's market. Bowman will be staying at Hendrick for 1 more season. Which I predicted Bowman would stay at Hendrick. So in terms of my silly season predictions, I'm already 1 for 1. The question is, will Hendrick give Bowman the 48 car for the other prediction? Or will Bowman stay in the 88 and they figure the sponsorship thing out? We'll have to wait and see what happens. But Rick Hendrick's a smart owner and a smart businessman. He'll figure this shit out. He always does. But yeah. But the main point here. Let's talk about John Hunter Nemechek. Took a 38 front row motorsports shipmobile car. Probably had top 15, top 20 speed all day. And drove it to a 9th place finish. With no practice time and no qualifying, with your starting spot being luck of the draw. I mean, hats off to John Hunter Nemechek. He actually ran a pretty good race. So yeah, for terms of the Cup Series, yeah, not much happened. You know, in NASCAR's first race back, yeah, the car still sucks. Car still sucks. No question about it. You know, it'll be interesting to see what happens at Darlington on Wednesday night. Since Wednesday's going to be a lot different race than today, because today was run in the sunlight during the Sunday afternoon, and then Wednesday it's going to be run in the nighttime, when the track's a lot cooler. You know, I don't know, you know, and a lot of the teams are going to have a good idea on how to race this track. Yeah, but hey, for Wednesday's race, Ryan Preece is on the pole, but Ty Dillon Plastic is second. Oh, God help us all if Ty Dillon wins. God help us all. So yeah, we also got Xfinity Tuesday, but Stat Patty Bush is in that race. But yeah. Also, NASCAR, quick word of advice. Please paint your sponsorships on the wall. Don't have fucking banners on there. That was a fucking stupid idea. Because that caused a couple debris cautions. Yes, even with no fans in attendance, NASCAR still had a couple debris cautions. Man. You can take the fans away, but you can't take away the debris cautions, folks. But yeah, other than that, there was some F1 news, actually, this week. Because F1's going to be coming back, I think it's mid-July at, Austria. And F1 and Belgium already gave F1 the green light go-ahead to run, the Belgium Grand Prix on, August 30th. So, in that race, we'll probably have no fans in attendance, too. But the big news in F1 is, F1 silly season has officially started. As it's been announced that Sebastian Vettel will be leaving Ferrari at the end of 2020. I'll be honest here, folks, as a Ferrari fan, I knew this was coming. I knew it. I knew that this was going to be Vettel's last year. Like, don't get it wrong here. Let's not beat around the bush for Vettel here. Vettel's tenure at Ferrari will go down as an absolute failure. Like, Vettel came to Ferrari for one reason. Win a championship. And he failed, and he has not done it. He failed to win a title for Ferrari. He tried to be Michael Schumacher, but couldn't get the title. Like, damn. So yeah, and of course, it didn't take long, though, for Ferrari to announce his replacement. So yeah, for Vettel's replacement at Ferrari, there were a lot of names thrown in. Carlos Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, even Lewis Hamilton, the GOAT, has been thrown in the mix. But in the end, the man that will get that ride is Carlos Sainz. There's one reason why he beat out Lewis Hamilton. Honestly, I think Lewis Hamilton wants to stay at Mercedes and finish his career out there. But Carlos also beats out Ricciardo simply because Carlos Sainz brings over Estela Kuta, or whatever that sponsorship he has called, or he brings that along with him. So yeah, that one, the question is, what happens with Mission Win Now sponsorship with Ferrari? Now that you have Carlos sponsor coming over to help sponsor Ferrari too. But of course, the McLaren, it didn't take long for them to announce Carlos's replacement, as now Daniel Ricciardo will be jumping ship over to the 3 car to drive at McLaren to team up with Lando Norris. Maybe Lando can do something in that. I mean, maybe Ricciardo can do something in that ride. But yeah, in terms of Carlos Sainz, he's a very underrated driver. I do like the signing. I do. You know, very underrated driver. He did some solid work at Renault and Toro Rosso, and he got a podium with McLaren last year. Part of that was because Lewis Hamilton got penalized for dumping Alex Albon at Brazil, but hey, Carlos is still respectable in his own right. But yeah, so yeah, for his efforts in pretty midfield to back marker teams, Carlos now gets to compete on a real team. Honestly, 2021, I think Carlos Sainz could have a breakout year in 2021. We'll have to see, though. Now the question is, who takes that seat at Renault with Esteban Ocon? Could they go Vettel? Could Alonso come back? Could Hulkenberg come back? Who knows what happens? Or could they promote from within? Or could it be Valtteri Bottas, like some people think it's going to be? Since I think Mercedes also wants to go younger and bring George Russell up. You know, but yeah, F1 silly season has officially went underway. And I didn't even get really a chance to make my predictions for it until, because now most of them are out. Honestly, I had Ricciardo going to Ferrari. And but yeah, in terms of what I think will happen to Vettel for 2021, I think Vettel's going to retire. I don't see Vettel going to Mercedes or Red Bull. I think Mercedes is probably going to want to bring George Russell up. And really, Red Bull, it depends on if Alex Albon has a good year or not. I think Albon needs to win a race to stay in that car. And I don't see Vettel going to a midfield or back marker team. I don't see Vettel going to Renault. I don't see that. So I think Vettel's going to retire. Because Vettel's really struggled under the V6 car. He really made his frustrations known at Russia last year when he said bring back the fucking V12s. See, I think Vettel's really struggled with this car, and I think Vettel's going to retire. I mean, Vettel's a 4-time champion. He really has not much to prove anymore. He mainly only came to Ferrari to try and do what his childhood hero Schumacher did, and that's win a championship with Ferrari. It will be a failure, but hey. Oh well. But, yeah, that's F1 silly season. Of course, we know IndyCar's coming back in June, at the start of June at Texas, so we'll have that, of course. You know, we got golf coming back. We had UFC come back last Saturday. So, yeah, we have baseball potentially coming back in a couple weeks. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, we're starting to get sports back. So, yeah, to the U.S., some health officials that said we wanted to have professional sports back in 2020, here's the one-finger salute. Take it and shove it. Sports are back. We may not be at the track for the foreseeable future, but hey, someday we'll all be back at the track. Someday. But yeah, anyway, gonna be interesting to see what happens at Darlington Wednesday night. A lot of the fan base, they've been split on midweek races, but hey, fuck it, since the season has really gone down to shitter here, and it's starting to become a lost cause. It's really, and the season really got shot to shit with this pandemic. So you know what? Fuck it. Let's experiment for 2021 and so on for future years. Let's do some midweek races and see what happens. I'm okay for it. I'm all down for midweek races. Gonna be very interesting to see what happens. But I think the weirdest race we're gonna see with no fans in attendance is gonna be Talladega near the end of June. Because that's gonna be weird to see Talladega with no fans. Like, it just doesn't feel right. Like, having Talladega with no fans is like having a car with no engine. It just doesn't look or sound right. But hey, this is the new norm for now, so we just gotta adapt to it and get used to it for now. Don't worry, folks, like I already said a few minutes ago. Someday we'll all be back at the track together. Someday.